sugar rush. I hear we can talk too much. You're the sweetest thing I ever tasted.
I'm great. Chris,
Jesse, Matt,
Frankie,
and we're Dream Street.
Come on, we're about to go crazy. You know the time is right, so let's get funky tonight.
How do you feel being, like in that position to take over and become in sync?
It's great. It's a great feeling, It's like they call them boy bands and whatever, but I think we're the real boy band because we're young boys and stuff.
Oh, baby, count on Dream Street. It happens every time, baby. Dream Street, Dream Street, Dream Street, Dream Street.
that was scary.
Please do not send any hate or honestly comments of any kind to anyone mentioned in this video on behalf of me or yourself. The purpose of this video is to give my commentary and opinion on matters of public concern. Thank you.
Bet you had forgotten about Dream Street.
Hey, we're Dream Street, and we're coming your way.
Ah, yes. Bet you had forgotten about Dream Street, starring Jesse McCartney and Chris Truesdale and these other guys.
This summer's hot new band.
Yep, I didn't. I have not forgotten about them. And in fact, even from time to time, I will see a suggested video upon the algorithm from the Jesse McCartney fan club girls with the Dream Street dancing and things. So recently, Aaron Carter has been in the news because P. Diddy has been in the news. He's been in the news recently because I think we might be dealing with like 40 lawsuits, 20 lawsuits, 30, I don't know, a bunch of lawsuits, including a criminal indictment. And so a lot of the videos, media, business dealings, all kind of stuff from P. Diddy's past has been coming back up, including a lot of his business connections. One connection that appears to be a business connection is Lou Pearlman. It's tenuous, right? But this is just people bringing stuff up. Because of all that, I'm thinking about Aaron Carter. He's no longer with us. It is disputed by a lot of people in the public, including also Aaron Carter's mother. What really was happened that night, that he no longer became on this planet, on this earth. But that's all getting brought back up. Kim Porter, we've talked about on this channel, stuff is all coming back up. And it's all because of this P. Diddy. It's like the inception of all of this. Well, I wanted to revisit Dream Street. Okay. Down on TV. As I understand it, you will have already watched a lovely video montage. First of all, this band, you should know, is one of those ones, it didn't come together, it wasn't like, oh, we met each other all at school, baseball practice, made our first. No. This was one of them like Backstreet Boys. Well, even they dispute, right? But this is one of the ones where it's like these two old coots, Louis Baldinieri and Brian Lukow, which I've seen as Lukowski. I've also seen as like Howard, Harvard, whoever, whatever in the middle. I don't know what the man's name is, but for our purposes here today, Brian Lukow. Okay, these two, decidedly not children. I mean, one of them was like 56 at the time. They come together, they want to make a boy band. All right. Louis is an Oriental dance teacher and choreographer from Chicago, and he was 43 at the time. This is 1999. Okay, they're aging, withering as it were. Not really, 43 is very young, but like I just think about two grown men having the desire to start a band of 12 to 14-year-old little boys.
It raises some questions.
It's the orange flag at the least, in my opinion, according to my current understanding of things. Okay, but whatever. And I'm not making any allegations. It's just, okay, interesting. 43 years old, Oriental dance teacher and choreographer from Chicago. Okay, then we got another one that's Brian Lukow. He was 56 at the time. He's also currently right now today listed as the CEO and creator of Crazy for the Boys. Crazy for the Boys, I think we could make a whole video about. We could probably make a whole little clip breakdown, and in fact maybe Nick DeRamio will do just that, because the movie Crazy for the Boys, ooh, y'all, it's He's the current CEO and creator of Crazy for the Boys. Okay, what is that? Here's him talking about it.
Brian Lukow, the president of All for One Media Corp, is with us. Brian, good to talk to you. How are you?
It's great to be with you as well.
Yeah, good to be you as well. So tell us a little bit about All for One. What are you guys about?
Well, we are focused as an entertainment company in all forms of media, focused primarily on the tween market. Let's define what a tween is. A tween is a kid between 7 and 14 years old.
Okay.
We think it is a huge market. We think it's a worldwide market, and we think it's, for us, the perfect target market demographic because of what's going on in the world today.
Well, I think we're doing this at just the right time because I have a 7-year-old son and a 10-year-old daughter.
There you go.
So we're right in your wheelhouse. So
what we like to say is billions are the new millions. We have a major motion picture in the can, in final stages of post-production, that will come out during back to school called Crazy for the Boys. It has 14 original songs. We believe it's a franchise film a la Pitch Perfect. It's got great choreography. It's got all the things that kids love about these movies, but it doesn't condescend to them. It talks to them, and it also introduces the music, because what Crazy for the Boys is, for the first time in history, is it's not only a great movie that will become a fixture on the tween and teen circuit, but it's also a 100-minute commercial to launch a new girl group, Drama. So the soundtrack, it doubles as the debut album for Drama. And if you look at the numbers today, and it's easy, anybody can do it.
Yeah.
Pick a pop star. You want to say Miley Cyrus? You want to say Ariana Grande? You want to say Camila Cabello, Taylor Swift? Those are the girls. You want to say Justin Bieber? Pick a pop star and just look at their Spotify numbers or look at their YouTube numbers, and you will see that billions are the new millions.
Well, Justin Bieber wouldn't be Justin Bieber without the internet, as we all know.
That's 100% correct.
Before Dream Street, this guy was Senior Vice President of Investments at Lehman Brothers from 1982 to 1995, over a decade, and then he started a boy band of 12. Is this true? I'll put the receipt right here. So originally Dream Street was called Boy Wonder. Crazy for the Boy, Boy Wonder, Dream Street. And it featured boys from the ages of 12 to 14. And it was little boys from the Broadway scene. Okay, that was the original inception of this band. Conception and inception. Among the original members were Greg Raposo and Chris Truesdale, who is, I think Chris Truesdale's like the best dancer for sure. He's a natural. He's got the best throw of all the throws for sure. And he's just, I could see the Broadway influence in the pirouettes. I'll say that.
There are a lot of ways to get attention on the Riviera. How about putting on a dance show? That's what the young star of the new film, The Biggest Fan, did, and the fans loved it.
That's me right there.
Okay, so Greg, born in 1985, he's a child actor who starred in commercials for Crest, Kit Kat bars, among other products. And this was all in the early 90s. And he, like others discussed on this channel, was entered into many talent contests. So he had the talent pipeline. I think he even went to Star Search this one. So Greg, he ends up getting entered by his aunt into the Star Search, where he earned second place at the Star Search, and then he joined a talent agency. He then went on to join a children's Broadway group called the Broadway Kids. This Broadway Kids has so many people in it. And I also found clips of Ashley Teasdale and this kid, Chris. Well, we're on Greg right now, but there's two originals, right? Chris and Greg. Chris is the one that dances really good, and he's got the spiky hair, and like it's just obvious when they're dancing, he's like the dancer. And then there's Greg. Okay, so Greg goes on to do the Broadway Kids, but who else was in there? Christy Carlson Romano, who's Ren from Even Stevens, that Shia LaBeouf's like plays the sisters of Lewis. And then we got Ashley Teasdale, Lacey Chabert from the Mean Girls and Family Guy, Jesse Eisenberg. He's the one who played Zuckerberg in that movie about Social Network or whatever. Okay, so then also the other original member, Chris, the one that's like dancing and the spiky hair and all that, he was born as Christopher Ryan Pask. So Truesdale was not his original last name. He was also born 1985, was from Newport Richey, Florida. He began his Broadway career at the age of 8, touring in a production of Les Miserables alongside Ashley Teasdale. Maybe it was him, one of them two with her in the video. Y'all, we'll put the label.
They all need bullets, and he volunteers to go get bullets for them. So he climbs over the barricade and gets all the bullets from the bodies that were lying there and gets shot 3 times. On the second shot, after a while, he throws the bag up, and then on the last body, he dies. So you better run for cover!
His family relocated from Michigan to New York City in 1995 so that he could join the Broadway production with Ricky Martin.
You worked with Ricky Martin?
Yeah. I did a show with him called Les Miserables. He did right after the soap opera. I was a street urchin, I was like a bum, and he was like a rich person.
Right.
And he loved to do the thumbs up. I don't know why, because then it was like really lame.
Oh, so you started doing
Yeah, I mean, he thought that this was really cool, and I was like, that was like 4 years ago, buddy. He was like, no, that's awesome, you know, like that was like, so that's the story with him.
And then he would also later join that same group, the Broadway Kids. Okay, so they ended up all being in there together.
Who met President Clinton? Chris?
I met President
Yeah? You meet everybody, don't you?
He came to see He came to see our show, and actually right there, right after he shook my hand, I said to my friend right there, I was like, God, he has a red neck, you know, because he's like really red down here. And I was cracking up. I don't know, my dad has it too, but I know, I was just like, God, and he heard me, and I was like, oh my God, he heard me. And he comes running over, he's like, I have a red neck, and he like joked around. I was like, whoa, President.
Now, according to several sources at varying levels of verifiability, including, Wikipedia, some Angel Fire website that seems to have tracked this very, very closely, this Dream Street lore, and also according to the boys' mouths themselves, Lewis and Brian, remember these two guys, they conducted hundreds of auditions with young boys to find the members of Dream Street. But there's a little bit of discrepancy about this, right? I mean, this is not the first, not the second, probably not even the third, fourth time that we find some discrepancies about origin stories among different people, different interviews, same people, same interviews sometimes. But anyway, so yeah, what they're trying to tell us or whatever is that Lewis and Brian did hundreds of interviews, hundreds of auditions, and this is the 5 they ended up with. You can't, in this terrible interview that you can't hear that Greg says, Brian and Louie, you guys just met, casted 200 boys.
Casted about 200 kids, and they cut it down to about 16, and they picked 8 from there and then 5 from there, so we all casted.
Anyway, there's conflicts, like we said, within the boys' own stories on how they found the opportunity. Like, one of them said he got a phone call.
When I heard about the call, I was like, oh wow, that would be like really cool.
And then Greg, in the same interview, straight up says they all really wanted to be in a boy band, and they all saw an ad in the paper. And Greg, I think Greg is the one that seems to be pretty much saying exactly the same thing as the management and like the same intonation and the same verbatim words as well. And he's the oldest, just like AJ.
So we've all kind of really wanted, to be in a boy band and to do stuff like that. And when the audition came in, they had an audition through the paper, and we all saw it, and we just took the opportunity and jumped right at it and came in and auditioned for it. We were the lucky 5.
So here's them talking about how they had to audition like normal.
Well, we've all been in the business since we were little, and we audition after audition, just keep on going at it until we get something. So this was just another audition for us. We didn't know what exactly was gonna, be put into all this, this stuff. So we just auditioned like normal. Yeah, it's just probably one of my harder auditions because, I always sang. But the dancing part, Chris is a dancer, so it was easier for him.
According to the public record, it was after these auditions that Matt Ballinger, Frankie Galasso, and Jesse McCartney would join, and they would eventually be given the name Dream Street. Now, Matt was also born in 1985. He's from Westchester, New York, and was also a Broadway kid. He also did Broadway. And he has said he was retired from Broadway whenever he joined Dream Street at...
Now, Matt... How about Matt? Matt, how old are you now?
I'm 15.
15. Matt is 15, and he came out of retirement to join the band at 15.
Yeah.
You were finished, right?
Yeah, I did a bunch of Broadway shows like Sound of Music and The King and I.
And you kind of like quit, just wanted to be a normal guy.
Play some golf, tennis.
Yeah?
Join a country club.
Right.
Came out of retirement to join Dream Street. Anyway, then you have Frankie Galasso. He was also born 1985 in New York City. He attended Salesian High School in New Rochelle, which is an all-boys private school located also in Westchester. So this is like a little Westchester, New York cluster over here. He too was in numerous musicals, and he appeared also in the movie Jungle to Jungle. Oh my God, I can never forget that movie. I had such a big crush on that Jungle Boy they put in the movie. Oh my God, imagine it was him. That would be so funny. I don't think it was. He was like extra. Okay, and then finally the youngest member we have is Jesse McCartney. I would say he's probably, in my opinion, probably the most recognizable member at this point from the band. He did have, I think, the most mainstream solo career. He was born in 1987, so he's a little bit younger than the other boys, but he also grew up in Westchester. He began performing in musicals at the age of 7, and yeah, just like a pop-up fun fact, him and Frankie were both in separate versions of the musical Oliver, but that brings in AJ again, because he was in Oliver. Or was it Chris? Chris was in Oliver. Chris Kirkpatrick. They're all playing the orphan boy? My word, we need to go watch Oliver. Okay, so in 1998, Jesse was performing with a group called the Sugar Beats. And at first I was like, what, who? And when I looked it up, the nostalgia that came unleashed in my brain, I don't know. We're going to try to include some of it here. I don't know, maybe it get claimed, but like it was coming on. It was waking you up in the middle of the night at 4 o'clock. And like, if I told you to call right now, just pay your bill.
You can hear it in the park. At birthday parties. Sugar Beats, the award-winning collection of pop songs from the 60s, 70s, and 80s, specially recorded for parents and kids of all ages.
We listen to Sugar Beats all the time. I can't believe these kids know the words to all these great songs. These are the songs that I grew up on, and now my kids love them too.
Sugar Beats is the recipient of the prestigious Parents' Choice Honor.
It's like, whoo, it brought me right back there.
First delivery is out. Now when we're in the car, we can all agree on one team.
But Jesse McCartney was in there, singing in there. And I gotta give credit where it's due. Jesse can really sing. He is a talented singer. Like, you can't say that for everybody out here that's a singer by profession. But he's like, a kid, he's singing on the Sugar Beats. And then there's another clip of him singing. Who else is in there? Oh, it's like a live performance clip. But that wasn't it. No, he was working. Jesse was working. He was earning a paycheck. In the late 1990s, he was appearing in the long-running soap opera All My Children. And he was still on the show, playing in All My Children as an actor. Had already been working as a musician in the Sugar Beats, which definitely sold because they were waking people up screaming at you to buy it.
To order Sugar Beats, call the number on your screen or send check or money order.
And working on a soap opera and doing Dream Street. And the youngest member of Dream Street, he was like 11 when he joined. 11 years old, he got the role in Dream Street.
Jess. And Jess, actually, Jess you have a daytime job.
Yeah, I'm on All My Children.
All My Children.
Yeah, it's great down there. There's a lot of fun people to work with, but, I like hanging with my brothers down here,
Your brothers, huh? All right, now this is what everybody wants to know. Since all of you are what, like 15?
Yeah.
Just about 15?
13.
Who's 13?
Jesse, 13.
You're the youngest?
Yeah.
Cool. What about the girls? What's the story?
Anyway, so when Dream Street hit the actual street, they were regarded widely as just like another wannabe third phase Backstreet Boys clone band. And the founders, Brian and Louie, these two old coots, one of them's like 81 or something right now. They claim the name Dream Street came from the name of their recording studio in New York City. And it wasn't having nothing to do with the Backstreet Boys. Dream Street, Backstreets, he's like a little bit similar. Well, it's interesting because the Dream Street Boys, they did this like kid interview I guess there was a lot of that going on now that I think about it. You know, it was like kids doing interviews and kids doing stuff. School paper reporters. So there's this like local kid reporters asking them these questions. There's also videos of this type of phenomenon going on. We'll probably have clips of it in here, but
what advice would you give to a young new artist?
To never give up on your dreams. And
if it's not working out, don't give up, because it takes a long time. It does.
Last question, you guys. Is there anything else that you'd like to share with the Peanut Butter and Jelly Journal?
Peanut butter and jelly. Peanut butter. Peanut butter. You didn't believe me when I told him. Jesse loves peanut butter.
They're asking them questions, and the boys are answering where the name Dream Street came from. And one of them says the name Dream Street comes from because they call Broadway the Street of Dreams. And we're all Broadway kids.
That makes the most sense, actually.
That's probably why the studio was named Dream Street. And then later, at some point, Louis and what's-his-name realized they were going to have to lay claim to the band. So, like, it's named after our studio. But it's both probably named after the Street of Dreams, which is Broadway, because they're all Broadway kids. The founder is an Oriental dancer, lest you forget. You know, whatever that is. We'll put a little clip. Well, Dream Street would get their big break. It would be in July 2000 on the Pokemon movie album with their breakout song, They Don't Understand. It's a very strange song. It's strange. I'm not sure I remember it. Ethan said he remembered it. And y'all listen, I went and listened to some of these Pokemon songs from the Pokemon movie album. It's a good album. It's like they had like Max Martin in there, ghostwriting or something. Like they put the sauce. Britney Spears is on there. I don't know. We might be getting into that. Yeah, here's some footage of them. Their performance. Because this is their breakout. This is their big break.
You know we got our own special language that only we can speak.
They don't understand us, the parents. Let's leave. Run away to Neverland or something like that. Now, I mean, the immediate question for me comes to my mind is like, how on earth did this nobody Dream Street band, nobody ever heard of in their life, get on Pokemon movie album with Britney freaking Spears? Who's on this album? Is this the part where we talk about that? Okay, yeah, right. Okay, look at this. Look at this. And they're pushing them. They're pushing them to the press. They're Amari. Billy Crawford, don't know who these... Christina Aguilera and Britney Spears on the same album in 2000. Think about that. And Dream Street's on there. Bewitched, Baby Spice. Oh my God, she tried to have a breakout, a solo. I did not know Emma Bunton, Baby Spice. Hey you, free up your mind. 98 Degrees was on here. Vitamin C, Aaron Carter. Oh, because this is only one of them. There was like many years of this. Oh my God. Oh yeah, the Gray. Who was on here with them? Donna Summer. Dream Street's first breakout song was on a CD with Donna Summer. The Pokemon movie. What?
Imagine how life will be.
I mean, I have a theory that they did this like kind of on purpose too with the genre, so like kids could get away with like playing it in the car with their parents. Like, oh, there's a song for mom on there too or whatever. But who's on here? Dream Street. Weird Al is on this album with Dream Street.
The amazing Donna Summer is just one of the great artists to perform on the soundtrack for Pokemon the Movie 2000. She's joined by Nobody's Angel in Youngstown, the B-52s, supergroup Westlife, Weird Al Yankovic, and the boys from Plus One.
Totally awesome.
So many great people on the soundtrack.
The incomparable Weird Al Yankovic brings his unique talent to bear on the tongue-twisting Pokemon track.
I don't think there's going to be any other polkas on the soundtrack. I don't think there is. You know, the root of all music is polka.
So yeah, I mean, the immediate question is like, how on earth did they get the placement on there with those people, Donna Summer and O-Town and the rest? But then I realized it's like immediate and apparent. The Lou Pearlman stench. He's the guy that's responsible for Backstreet Boys and NSYNC, both. And we've talked about him plenty over here, but you know, just to catch you up, he created both of those bands, Backstreet and NSYNC, and managed them. So this Lou Pearlman stench, if it's connected, that could explain how or why Dream Street ended up on this album, and it might warrant an entirely separate video. But in a nutshell, everyone Lou worked with, from Aaron Carter to O-Town to Innocence, that's Lou's band that was supposed to star Britney Spears, and then Britney had her own breakout solo career. All of these bands, all these Lou Pearlman bands, appeared on at least one of the Pokemon soundtracks, these movie soundtracks, okay? And all the music was very much the same. It's like this bubblegum, 90s, quintessential like sound of pop, like NSYNC, Britney, Backstreet Boys, O-Town, this pop sound. Aaron Carter. Even Britney, she's literally on the album. Soda Pop was added to the original Pokemon, the movie soundtrack. And I have no clue why, because it has nothing to do with the movie. I mean, I'm not complaining, but I mean, still, it's kind of weird. The song is good. It has nothing to do with that movie. And then the Dream Street song, the sub and substance of the song is just depraved. The parents don't understand. It's like they want to run away. Anyway, so there's like this very obvious Lou Pearlman shadow looming over the Pokemon movie soundtracks. It just feels that way to me based on what I just said. So in July 2001, almost exactly 1 year after the Pokemon 2000 release, They Don't Understand, then came the debut album of Dream Street, titled Dream Street.
Hey, we're Dream Street, and we're coming your way.
It happens every time. The smash new album and single from Dream Street. This summer's hot new band. Dream Street, today's hot new band. By calling this number, you'll also get this free
and a slew of promotional press interviews, like their appearance on Maury and local evening news channels, and this is also Lou Pearlman coded. Look at this. So the new kids on the block. So these are the new kids on the block. I mean, how many generations? It's like we're on third phase by now. So yeah, they're doing this press tour, and as well as a mall tour. They're doing a mall tour as well. But the album, it sold, y'all. It was certified gold by the RIAA in the US, and it peaked at #1 in Billboard's charts for independent albums. So it's like the #1 charting album in the independent. And like there was big, I have a newspaper clip somewhere around here. There's like big names in the charts that week in the other, but they were on the independent. Somebody was working. Okay, and then the band was also regularly featured on Radio Disney, and a lot of people were listening to that. So it is like an audience built in, if you can get your thing played on Radio Disney, and it did boost their popularity.
Check it out. Roll over. Lay down. Now, play some cool music. Your music, your way. Radio Disney. Listen now for your chance to win a Disney Cruise Line vacation with Aaron Carter.
They also had a magazine that never really gets talked about. There was like a Dream Street magazine, and ended up being a little foreshadowing. Their manager might have known a thing or two about making a magazine. More on that at 6. Okay, so they were regularly featured on the Radio Disney. This fueled their fame and gave them a real audience and credibility seemingly overnight, right? It's like they're in everybody's SUV and minivan overnight. They even performed on an episode of All My Children, which again was where Jesse was working as an actor still. This kid was working.
Here are the nominees for Outstanding Younger Actor.
Jesse McCartney, JR on All My Children.
It's tough being a kid. And it's even tougher for JR. He's got nothing left to believe in.
You gotta have this conversation with your mother.
Sheen and David, they slept together?
Sorry, no.
It's all your fault,
I know.
Dad. It's all your fault. You hadn't done this. I trusted you.
Yeah, so here's some, they're getting bombarded by fans. Then there's the squeaky shoe edit of them practicing for a show. It's awkward.
Hey, check. Guys? That's the end.
There's two practices I'm thinking of. One's on a big stage and they're getting yelled at by the PA, and then on the other one, it's they're in a little van or a little tiny dressing room. It gets tense. It gets tense.
Out of my way, crossing the line, making me say what I have in mind. They don't understand how we communicate. Make me
Watch the corner of your eyes. Watch your lines. Make your spaces. Always even.
Always be in line with middle person. Oh, so many things more than we do and say. Come on,
Yo, Matt, Greg, you really gotta watch yourself.
You gotta look for middle person. Stands.
Good.
No.
None of that Pokemon, baby. Baby, no Pokemon.
Also in this interview from 2001, so they would have been like around 15 or 16 years old. They're obviously asked this question, like, what's the weirdest thing that ever happened to you from a fan? It's like they're not actually including the questions. They just cut it out awkwardly. So you have to reverse engineer and speculate what the question might have could have been.
We had two faint already at a signing. And she was like right in the front of the line. She was waiting for like hours, and then she comes up. She's like, oh. She's like, that was a little weird. But she wouldn't leave. The EMS came and had a stretcher already. She was like, I can't leave until I get their autograph. And
it's during that interview and during that moment one of them's talking about like a girl grabbed my arm or whatever, and like they're saying it like it's a good thing and stuff, and I could even see like as kids like them even seeing that as a good thing and thinking it was fun, but like also like you're getting mobbed by people that can't even be in enough control of their own faculties as to remain standing. They're fainting. Okay, they're fainting. They're feral. All right. And it's mobs of them. It's like, I bet you that's actually very traumatic. And like, it's because you're hot. Because it can't, like, these people can't know you. They don't know you. So it's like, oh, you're hot. Let me faint and grab you. And then here's this like off-screen interview person like asking them what's the weirdest thing a girl ever did to you or something. I don't know. Very weird. Anyway, Greg said we had a girl faint at the signing. And Chris said one time a fan gave him a thong.
so I was like, all right. I went up when I signed it. She was like, all right, let's go. And it like made her faint more. So no, yeah. But yeah, we had some weird stuff. I think one time a fan bought a pair of underwear and gave it to me. The weirdest. That has to be the weirdest for me. Like gave me like a thong, like for. I know I shouldn't say that, but no, they did. I swear they like gave it to me, and I was just like, okay, what am I supposed to do with this thing?
And it's very awkward because he's like, I didn't know, what am I supposed to do with that? And it's like, yeah, actually, good point. Why were they doing that? I never did that. I didn't go to these concerts. I don't think I ever went to these concerts. I never went to any of them. But like any concert till I was like 20, I don't think. But why are they handing little kids or worse, what if it wasn't a little kid handing it to them?
In some of our concerts, we go into the crowd sort of and stuff, and like some of the girls get like really touchy, and they try to they will hold on to your hand, and they'll I remember one girl tried to take down my pants. I was like, bro, it's crazy, man.
Sometimes they almost, a few times they've almost pulled me in, like you put your hands out.
You put your hand out just to grab their hand. Like during a performance, they'll all be like reaching out to grab your hand, and you'll grab, and then you'll keep on walking. It's like
yeah,
trying to let go.
It's tough when you got sometimes you touch one and five, just boom, boom, you got them all.
Just gotta go.
It's like, oh man.
Anyway, TOS. So yeah, no, is Chris? Is it? Yeah, he looks so uncomfortable the whole time. He's like, And I could understand why. Matt, is that Jimmy Pesto Jr.? He does look uncomfortable. I don't think he likes it. He seems to come from a good Mormon home or something. You know, like he doesn't seem to be into all of that. And then Jesse McCartney, bless him, he's like, you remember, he's like 2 years younger than these other ones. He's like, describes it as kind of scary.
So one time, I think Chris, he came like, he was like this, and somebody grabbed him and pulled him back.
That was scary.
And I could see why, and I hadn't really thought about it like that before. Anyway, they enjoyed it. They seem to really have enjoyed at least parts of it, even though it was scary, for the rest of 2001. Releasing, undoubtedly, their biggest music video. It happens every time.
It happens every time. The smash new album and single from Dream Street. This summer's hot new band. Dream Street, today's hot new band. By calling this number, you'll also get this.
Bad boys. So many girls out there. Yeah, we just can say hi. You can't resist. It's crazy. Got it. Beat the camera.
And really, it was like a big explosion of things happening that year. I mean, I have a little 2001 sideshow over here. I mean, they were getting put on people's Christmas list. There was, what was the things called, Ethan, that they, those little hit clips, they were putting it on their Santa list. A real life dream, you know. I mean, look at these newspaper. They were Kraft and Kmart, and it started making me feel a little bit like that's the branded, like that they're the race car, because it's like these sponsorships like follow them around, like they keep bringing up that they have Kraft and.
That is so funny. Look at the music, other music. Like look at the 3 albums.
I don't know what any of the Gangsta Boo.
Gangsta Boo, Both Worlds, Star 69.
You know what? Dream Street is the one I remember from all this. Game Boy Advance. What's the movie? 13 Days? What's that? You remember that? Okay, so yeah, they're doing a performance in the park with others, including LFO, which is a lewd band, and one or at least one of them, maybe it's 2 of them, ain't no longer with us. And one of them, it was after he had exposed that he was exposed to some abuse, and now he's no longer with us.
With this guy Lou Pearlman.
Right, Lou was this guy. There was this guy Lou Pearlman who was this like incredible producer, if you will.
Well, what happened with Lou? Because I knew Lou. Lou used to own Blimps or something.
O-Town,
whatever it was called.
He never thought it was gonna blow up.
You never got paid?
I didn't get paid anywhere near what I should have.
Really?
Then there's like some other awkward backstage stuff, like who's this man singing and tapping his knee? I don't know, it might be innocent, but I'm just curious. Who is that? It's giving, who is that?
Good.
No! None of that Pokemon!
So, all boy band good things must eventually come to an end. And this would mark, you know, their huge boom in 2001. And then everything would start to take a sharp turn to the left, to the right, to the down for Dream Street. And, you know, ominously, December 2001 was this Q102 concert. Q102 concert has all the action this week. And there's like, here's the bands, right? Notable goings on implies a big weekend for shopping sprees and office holiday parties. Meanwhile, the week's biggest event, tonight's Q102 Jingle Ball Christmas concert at the Tweeter Center, has long been sold out. Okay, this is the end of 2001, the big boom year for Dream Street. The strong bill promises to be dominated not by ostensible headliner Enrique Iglesias, but by red-hot Alicia Keys. Clive Davis, right? Whose songs in A minor, that hits different in 2024. A minor. Who else is at this concert playing other than Alicia Keys? O-Town and Jay-Z. Lou Pearlman Band, O-Town, and Jay-Z. The Blueprint was #1 for weeks. He was sentenced last week to 3 years probation after pleading guilty to the assault of a rival record executive, Lifehouse. Toya, Craig, David, and the Lifehouse is the Christian band. Wait, how'd they just zoomed right over that? What the hell? Wait. Jay-Z, his The Blueprint was #1 for weeks, but he was sentenced last week to 3 years probation after pleading guilty to assaulting a rival record executive? What? It's so much to take in. What the hell? Okay, anyway, Lifehouse is there. Toya, Craig, David, Michelle Branch. The benefits proceeds go to Toys for Tots. And you're supposed to bring a new unwrapped toy. Okay. Okay. Well, that seemed to be a little bit at the beginning of the end there. And it's just some familiar names there. It's just very interesting. I'd like to know what was all video recorded that night and stuff. Dream Street would start 2002 off very strong. I'm talking about as strong as you could start it off. Opening on tour for Aaron freaking Carter. All right, Aaron's winter party, 2002. Okay, that was in February. Okay. Again, my Lou Pearlman senses are tingling, but I must continue on with our story. By April 2002, all had gone to HE double hockey sticks. Reports were coming out that some of the parents of the Dream Street members were filing a lawsuit against these creators, Louie and Brian, alleging that their children were exposed to booze, women, and bleepography. According to this Billboard article from the time, the lawsuit filed in New York State Supreme Court in Manhattan alleges that Louie and Brian had engaged in a wide range of conduct and activities that plainly threaten and impair the minors' well-being, according to an affidavit from a band manager named John Stewart. Now, these two managers, Baldinieri and Lukow, they denied all charges. One of them, Baldinieri, saying the parents were the ones setting a bad example for the boys because the adults were trying to teach them the lesson that you can sign anything and then lie and cheat and defame people for your benefit. The lawsuit seeks back pay and the release of the singers Jesse, Frank, Matthew, Greg, and Christopher from the current contract. But Christopher didn't actually join in with them. So Baldinieri, the manager, said that the parents were trying to make a financial killing now that the 5-member group had become popular and he had made them popular with his money and his work and his expertise and his network, etc., etc. I mean, he did somehow get him on the Pokemon album. That's a pretty big deal. Okay, but y'all, listen, in the lawsuit, it's like some pretty serious allegations. It was made public to some extent in April 2002. The parents said reportedly that they were trying to protect their kids, the youths. Stewart, this is their manager, said in his affidavit that the executives had encouraged these teenage boys to have relations with other people, including teenage girls, offered them alcoholic beverages, and 2 of the teens actually, according to these reports, received a certain type of images inappropriate from an investor in Dream Street via email. In addition, Mitchell, this is an investor, allegedly sent Galasso and Raposo 3 corn-containing emails earlier this year and has videotaped, allegedly, the boys getting dressed backstage, according to an affidavit filed by Raposo's mother, Mary Ann. 2 of these members of the boy band received an email from an investor in the band. This is what's reported. And in the email, it was pornographic. Allegedly, reportedly, but this reminds me of Quiet on Set. One of the allegations was that an email had been sent from someone to a kid that got it. And in the Quiet on Set, she screamed. She screeched and ran out, which she should. Okay, so the mothers of the singers also claimed that the executives had called them dumb housewives in front of their sons, and the managers responded to that by saying, we called them much worse than that. So there's this other article that has a lot more details, and the source, and I'm going to leave the source up here, is the New York Daily News. I am reading from the New York Daily News, okay? This article says the parents claim in the court papers that Dream Street's creators have repeatedly offered the teens beer and encouraged them to engage in relations with teenage girls. And I'm not saying this has anything to do with Lou Taylor, but he was alleged to have hidden cameras set up in changing rooms. Quote, the band wants the Justice Diane Lebedeff to revoke the court's prior approval of a contract between Dream Street and these Louie and Brian people. And this was in September 2000. So in New York, a judge has to approve a contract before a minor can enter into it. So it was court-approved contract. So that's another important thing, though. To get this overturned, the judge would kind of have to overturn another judge because it was court-ordered approved already. It was already approved. So it's not just like, oh, this is a messed up contract. It's like, well then why'd the judge approve it? You know, you kind of have to I think, they wanted the judge to take away the approval of that contract. The court approval was necessary because the band members were underage. But the 2 managers, Baldinieri and Lukow, denied the allegations, charging the parents with trying to steal the group now that it was poised to make money. Baldinieri is also a vice president of a company called World Media Group. Okay, this is very important. Okay, according to the court papers, this is according to the reports I'm reading from. Stewart's affidavit, this is the band manager's affidavit, claims this company, World Media Group, produces several, magazines, okay? Explicit types of magazine publications. And one of these magazines is called Just Come of Age, which Stewart, the boys' manager, says borders on child bleep illegal, okay? Now, the band manager denies being a cornographer. He called Just Come of Age magazine an adult, sophisticated magazine. And I would say from what I've seen, and I haven't dug deep, just one preliminary Google search or two, I would agree with the lawyer. I would say it borders on something that it's sick. There's 3 screenshots of the descriptions. You can get them from this was actually from a shopping magazine, a website where you can shop, and it doesn't show anything inside. It just shows the cover and you have to buy it, which of course I did not do. But the descriptions of the magazines are just right there on the public search. But look at this. Features. Any younger would be a crime. October 2000. August 2002. Any younger would be a crime. And this is after the lawsuit, February 2003. Any younger would be a crime. They're rubbing it in. This World Media Company publishes this magazine, okay? And the Dream Street manager, the band manager, is saying this is sick because Dream Street also has a magazine and it looks just like this Just Come of Age magazine, and it's sick. Which I agree with. I totally agree with. But you know what? The judge did not agree. The judge did not agree. But we'll get to that in a moment. Okay, so in addition to the whole magazine thing, which he's calling an adult, sophisticated magazine, oh my God, it's not. That I would have to disagree with entirely. And I haven't even opened a page of it. So it ended up turning out that they were allowed to get out of the contract, but there was a dispute amongst the parents that they wanted, the mothers, really, they keep calling it the mothers, but the parents of these boys, they wanted to keep letting the kids go around and about as Dream Street. But Louie and what's his name were like, no, we've built up the brand Dream Street. It was our idea. It's named after our studio, whatever, what have you. We want to be Dream Street. So the judge sided with the managers and said it was just like Menudo, which is interesting because Menudo spawned off Ricky Martin, and then Ricky Martin in 1995 spawned off one of these Dream Streets. But anyway, so the judge sided with the managers, and it was Chris. He was going along with the managers. He was not suing. He decided not to sue. And so he was rewarded. They did try to spin Dream Street off again. Obviously that, flopped. But Chris did go on to make music sporadically here and there.
And after Dream Street broke up, what was next? When the band Dream Street broke up, I knew I wanted to go solo, and so did the manager of the group Dream Street. He was dead set on me being the breakout solo artist of the group, and we worked really hard at it. We came up with 12 tracks. I got signed to Columbia Records with Tommy Mottola. Unfortunately, they wanted a new Dream Street, so in order for me to go solo, their only stipulation was, okay, we'll have him go solo, but can he first be in another Dream Street, and then we'll take him solo. I was like, ugh, really, another group? I was like, those boys were my guys. I don't want to, get paired with more guys. And my manager was thinking the same. He was like, I don't want to deal with those mothers again. He's like, I don't want another group. I want, him to go solo. So we kind of fought back and forth with Tommy about it all. And I toured the country doing Six Flags tours and mall tours, going solo and doing that stuff, and it was great, but never really got to see the solo project come to fruition. So. And
then of course Jesse McCartney did go on to be an iconic solo teen heartthrob act of his own in his own right, reminiscent of Justin Timberlake and Nick Carter, if I do say so myself. And Chris Truesdale, unfortunately, tragically, in 2020 became no longer with us. At first, it was unspecified what complications had led to his leaving from this realm, but it was later reported that it had something to do with a certain virus, which name I cannot say. So rest in peace to Chris. Truly, if I do say so myself, respect to everybody, best dancer in Dream Street, I have to say. Best dancer in Dream Street was definitely Chris. And yeah, Jesse McCartney is still out here. Jesse is still out here. They did a Dream Street reunion as well on Zoom in the dark days. The timing without any latency to do that live is really impressive. And Jesse McCartney's still out here. He's doing great. I'm glad to see it. I mean, that was really the only one I had really remembered, but I did develop an affinity for all of them. You see them as kids, and you see them when you're making these videos in a new light. Because the last time I ever really thought about the other ones ones in the band besides Jesse McCartney was a long time ago. And so going back and looking at these clips and seeing it again from a new perspective is like you realize just how young they were and how they were just kind of pretending and acting. They were just playing pretend, like trying to be like cool for like girls and themselves, and there was competition, and it's a different perspective. But yeah, that's what's going on with Dream Street. Maybe they'll make a Peacock 6-part series or something if they can get their hands on the documents. Yeah, that's all I really have for today. In the meantime, facts ain't defamation. Love you, meaning, okay, bye.
DJ investigate, she gonna find the truth. She gonna crack the case here. It's not a lie when it's paperwork. She will expose the truth. Daily updates for you. Better subscribe like I knew you would. We gotta stand for what's right. We gotta do for the good, yeah. I don't know what y'all have heard. That surprise witness got the word. We don't believe in Scientology. I do not need your mind control on me. We don't need your conservatorships, no. We doing right what's right for the kids. Whoa.
Y'all cannot control me. I control my own mind. You could've controlled me then, still not in this lifetime. Can you send us down the pink angel from the heavens of truth? You don't want to debate with BJ. The studying law is what she do.